Retirement is now in sight. Congratulations to you. In the words of Jesus in Matthew's Gospel, to paraphrase, well done, good and faithful servant.
It is an announcement nearly 3 years in the making. The 8th man to serve as Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Sioux City.
Today, the diocese welcomed the man who will succeed Bishop R. Walker Nicholas later this year, Father John Keehner. The bishop-elect comes to Sioux City from the Diocese of Youngstown, Ohio, where he serves as the priest of 4 parishes in Northeast Ohio. He earned a degree in biblical studies from a Cincinnati seminary and was ordained as priest in 1993.
KTIV's Taylor Deckert begins our Team 4 coverage of that transition tonight. She tells us how Bishop-elect Keehner is preparing for the new role.
Back on January 28th, Father John Keehner took a phone call and was called to fill a new role as the next bishop of the Diocese of Sioux City.
So I stand before you today truly humbled by the Holy Father's decision to name me a bishop and truly grateful to be here among you. Truly grateful for the Holy Father's trust in my abilities and truly grateful that the Holy Spirit is in charge and that my best course of action is to get out of the way and to allow the Holy Spirit to guide me.
Wednesday was the first day the newly named Bishop-elect Keehner stepped into the Cathedral of the Epiphany for Mass with a message to the Catholic community and a pledge.
I pledge my life, my sweat, my daily prayers, and I promise to work with you to continue the good work begun here so many years ago when the first settlers brought the faith.
Bishop-elect Keehner describes his religious upbringing as non-traditional. He attended public school and his family didn't regularly attend Mass before being called into the priesthood.
I can count on one hand the number of times I remember my entire family going to Mass together. But I kept getting drawn in through music, through becoming a lector, through youth ministry. I kept getting drawn in.
To prepare for his new role, he'll take a week-long retreat to prepare his heart for this move.
Time for prayer, time for reflection, entering into this new phase of life, with my eyes open and my heart open. And probably hardest to have my heart open.
In Sioux City, Taylor Deckert, KTIV News 4.
His ordination is set for May 1st at the Cathedral of the Epiphany in Sioux City.